Hello, and welcome to this special edition of the Life Burst podcast. I'm going to be your host today, Tiffany, with my co-host Andrew.
Hi, I'm here to ask questions.
Are you ready to be infiltrated with madness?
Yes.
All right, because today we're going to be touching on some of the lore surrounding the Ancient Surprise team. Please take all of this with a grain of salt. I'm definitely not I'm not an expert in the H.P. Lovecraft eldritch horror kind of genre. I do think it's interesting, and I'm also not a professional researcher when it comes to lore behind certain games. So if you have anything to add or correct, please feel free to do so in the comment section. I would love to know what you guys think about this.
Right, because Ancient Surprise is the deep side of the pool.
Surprise!
And we're ready to dive right in.
I'm ready to dive in. I'm ready. So today we're going to be talking about Ancient Surprise's ties to Cthulhu mythos and just how deep that rabbit hole actually goes.
Yeah.
So to get started, I kind of wanted to tell you guys how I came across this information, and the answer will surprise you. So when we first started playing Wixoss, I was having trouble remembering the name of the team. But I could remember the name of like the individual characters, but I couldn't remember what team it was. I couldn't recall that it was called Ancient Surprise.
Right.
So in Google, I put in Umr At Tawil, just, and then Wixoss at the end. And the first search result that came up was a wiki page for an H.P. Lovecraft creature called Umr At Tawil with like dashes in between each name. And I was like, oh, what is this? what on earth have I stumbled upon? And I spent far too long looking into it and just being surprised. Ancient surprised all along the way. So if that's something you guys are interested in, then please keep listening and strap in because it's gonna get weird.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. I feel my tongue is swollen, and now I can say.
Oh, you should probably get that checked out.
Sorry. I should.
All right. So let's kind of roll this back a bit, right? So we've got if you are new to Wixoss, or if you're just getting started with the Diva format only, you know Ancient Surprise as the Lyrigs with Umr, At, and Tawil, At being in the center. But Umr and Tawil existed before the Diva set, and the art for those guys is fantastic if you want to take a look at it.
If anyone has any of the what is it? What is the
Ootles?
The Oodles sleeves, just let us know.
Please contact me. I will buy them off of you. That art is beautiful. So going back to the before the Diva set, we know Umr today as a blue Signy, but originally she was a black Signy. And all of the names for the different variations of Umr as a Lyrig all have this sort of like wielder of the key, or she's got like some sort of key element to her. And I know that we have like a key format, but this was very different. Like this wasn't talking about the format, this was talking about some sort of like metaphorical key or whatever. All of her names have that, including like the flavor texts as well. And she also came in like a bunch of different forms, which I thought was interesting. So she merges with other Lyrigs, and Tawil does as well, which we'll get into. But Umr merges with other Lyrigs, and there is Altum, Umr Fem, Umr Freya, Oodles, which is Umr and Tawil merged together. So she has been like kind of this like key wielding shapeshifter black energy kind of type character.
She touches blue at some point though, in the older formats too.
Right.
I think.
And also, please correct me if I'm wrong. I thought I read this somewhere, but I can't find it anywhere anymore. So please tell me if I'm right or wrong in the comment sections down below. There used to be something called gates, or like gate tokens. And from what I remember, it was to be able to manipulate the Signies on the opponent's field. And I don't know why I can't find that information anymore. So this might this might just be like a mistranslation or not.
A fever dream.
Or a fever dream. I mean, I went in deep. I was like, you know. So please correct me in the comment section. But if that is true, then, you know, Umr being like a wielder of a key and then also being able to interact with these like gate type tokens, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Next, moving on, we've got Tawil, who is a white Lyrig in the key format with a heavy, like white signies have a very heavy focus on angels.
Wait, didn't Umr have a somewhat focus on demons?
I believe so.
Okay. I thought that was part of their duality, was that Tawil did
Angels and demons.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I mean, that kind of goes with the whole like dark, light kind of thing. So White Religs always had a big focus on angels, and Tawil was a white Lyrig instead of being the red Lyrig that we know her as today.
And she had her wing hairs still.
I mean, she still does.
Yeah.
So, let's see. I'm just checking over my notes. So with her flavor texts and some of her titles that she gets, they allude to something like she's some sort of like prophet or messenger in her like flavor texts. And this also like kind of ties into some of the different forms that she'll take.
Yeah.
She actually has a nega form, and that is Lawat Et, which is Tawil spelled backwards. And it's called...
And she's not an Elrig, she's just a girl.
She is an Elrig.
I know, I'm just making a joke. It's backwards. So backwards Elrig is
Gotcha.
girl.
All right. So that's called Lawat Et, Fulfilled Messenger, and she's actually a tricolored Lyrig.
What colors?
Red, green, and blue.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So this is, again, back before the Diva format. And that is something you could grow into her as part of Tawil's, like, grow line. So you couldn't grow this with, like, an Umr or anything. She also had another one called Lawat Ener, Messenger Prolonged of Life, which is a colorless Lyrig. So that's another kind of, like, split that you could do with her.
So she's done everything but black then.
I think so.
Cool.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. So, and then of course, like I said, there was oodles. So going into oodles, or ut-uls, depending on how you want to say it, it most likely, from what I could research in the names behind this, it's most likely inspired by a character called Utul's Hair Air, or Air Hair, something like that. Which is described, according to the H.P. Lovecraft
As
wiki,
oodles of fun?
as a faceless creature with various appendages sprouting from its head, a beard of oozing horns, many reddish, like, forms, and fish-like fins sprouting from an egg-shaped body.
Got it. So a good Friday night date.
Excellent Friday night date. It's also known as the Horned Mother or the Black Glory of Creation. So what that kind of does...
So we're in real deep here. Like
yeah, I told you it was going to get weird. I told you to strap in. It just goes from like 0 to like 1,000 real quick. So that's kind of what that is called. And if you look at, you know, I don't think that they really tie this into the art so much, because I'm not sure that would translate very well to like the typical art of Wixoss. But you know,
if we can get literal fridges, why can't we get literal Cthulhu monsters?
You know, that is a question I would like to ask. But you know, if you look at like Umr has like horns and Tawil has the wings. So it does kind of go with various appendages sprouting from its head.
That's fair.
Let's see. So moving on, there are the two signi that are associated with Umr and Tawil, and that is Yog Sothoth and Shub's Nigura.
Otherwise just known as Shubs.
Shubs, which henceforth will be Yog and Shubs. So Yog was previously a black signy, code anti. It crosses with...
Wait, its signy type was anti?
Yeah, code anti.
Okay, and I'm just so I know that this is like anti as in anti-inflammatory. It means that it's not going to swell up. I don't know why I
No.
chose that one. So anti as in
not, as in
correct.
the absence
Okay,
of,
because
or
there's
the
also
opposite of.
anti when you raise the ante. So I
No,
was trying to
ANTI, anti. Like anti something.
yeah, okay.
Anti.
Okay, because if you spell it with an E at the end, it becomes like it's a betting thing.
Yeah, no.
So,
It's
okay.
not it's not anti as in betting, it's anti as in like nega ash.
I mean, we say that like there's no betting in Wixoss when you definitely the
there was
lore
coin
had
bets.
coins bets.
Sure.
So, yeah.
So, she also, in both the game and the lore, she crosses paths with Shub pretty often. Because Shub's original like title was Fertility of Chaos.
Okay.
So in the original mythos, Yog Sothoth knows the gate. Yog Sothoth is the gate. Yog Sothoth is the key and the guardian of the gate. Past, present, and future all are one in Yog Sothoth.
Okay.
So when we're going back to thinking about how Umr is the key, and then Tawil is the messenger,
Prophet, yeah.
or prophet, and then Yog Sothoth is the key, the gate, the guardian, and everything. So that does kind of tie into why they would be related in terms of like Lurig and Signy. It also, Yog Sothoth, interestingly enough, it's only had one description of its appearance, and that is 13 iridescent orbs.
Okay.
Which, you let me know if you see that in the Wecross art or not. I don't think I do. Do you want to try and find it?
I'll take a quick look. Yeah.
So that's what that is. Now, in the Cthulhu's mythos, Yog and Shubs are said to have mated together.
Oh, is that why Shub is shown as like a succubus in this version?
Well, it's kind of like, that's kind of why she was given the title of Fertility of Chaos.
Her literal art has a heart with her name on it.
Yes.
It's very risque art.
It is a little risque. So, and then the flavor text for Shub was, it alluded to the, sorry, I'm trying to read my notes. Also alluded to in the anti-flavored text, "Come, Shub, shall we open the forbidden gate?" So that's Yog's flavor text is talking to Shub, which I think is pretty fascinating. "Come, Shub, shall we open the forbidden gate?" I mean, I like the subtle, like, H.P. Lovecraft in this. Like, if you're an H.P. Lovecraft buff, I can imagine that this would be really fun to, like, dive into. So I really like doing it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. So moving on, Shubs was originally a white Signy, and her flavor text was like a calling to Yog as, yeah, Yog, let's start a crazy feast.
Okay. What are they eating? My mind?
Probably.
Got it.
Probably. There's also additional flavor text that says, "Chaos and fertility are blown away. Blow away chaos and fertility." That's the flavor text on the promo card. So, I guess Yog is supposed to be the chaos, and then Shubs is supposed to be the fertility aspect of that.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty cool. Shubs is also known as the Black Goat with 1,000 young, the All-Mother, the Mother Goddess, the Lord of the Woods, and the Mighty Mother. Her appearance is supposed to be like an evil cloud-like entity. So we've got orbs and we've got clouds up in here.
I couldn't find any orbs in the art of the other. I'm looking for goats now.
Yeah, really. Also, an enormous mass which extrudes black tentacles, slime-dripping mouths, and short, writhing goat legs.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. It also says that there's like small creatures that are constantly being like created from this being, so that's kind of why they say it's like the black goat with 1,000 young. But I guess that's kind of why Shubs kind of looks the way that she does. Like she's kind of in like black, you know? even though I guess she's a black Signy now.
She does have goat horns.
Does she really? Let me see.
Yeah. She's a red Signy.
Oh, she's a red Signy now, yeah. So she does have goat horns and, like, the little goat ears. She's reaching out to you as if to say, come, let's start a feast. It's pretty fun. Let's see. A couple other things that are in the previous sets, because remember, we're still in the previous sets. We haven't gotten to this set yet. There's other cards that have a Lovecraft background, and that is one card called, I believe it's a piece, if I remember correctly, and it's called Cthulhu Call, which...
It's a little on the nose there.
It's very on the nose. Like, I have written in my notes, obvious namesake. So with that, now we're moving into the Diva format with the introduction of Ot.
Yeah.
So let's kind of get into that.
Now,
So
is it pronounced Ot or At?
either or.
Okay. Either Ot or?
No.
At or Ot.
At or Ot. Right.
I
So
think in the Japanese it's ATT.
ATT.
Well, for the actual name, right? It's in English, it's AT, but if you look at the Japanese, I believe it's ATT.
Well, I believe in Japanese it would be pronounced Ato.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
So, you know, but whichever way you want to pronounce it. So now in the Diva format, what we've moved into is Umr has changed from black to blue, and Tawil has changed from white to red. And then we've got Ot in the center as green, which, like you pointed out earlier, kind of alludes back to the Umr Et, which is the red, green, blue Loreg. So now they've kind of been split up into different parts. We were also told recently in one of our Discord channels that there was like a whole arc involving like Umr and Tawil and like the old like, I don't know what it was. I guess it was like a manga or something.
I think it was a webcomic.
A webcomic, yeah. So we'll get into that a little bit later because that's a fun little
so
tidbit.
it's interesting here, right? Is they do tie the Diva format a little bit together to the old format, right? If you guys follow your anime, series 1 and series 2 of the show, which was Infector selected, and also Lost Storage, they don't make any appearances in that anime except for, I believe Umr actually does show up in a practice game. Like, not as a actual Elrig, but they play Umr down on the field at one point. Outside of that, they end up starting a band. And,
yes.
and this apparently in this webcomic and some promos that you can get for this, they have band shirts. And from what I've been told, they were in like band schools. So they may have been in
School
rival
of Rocks.
Yeah, they may have been in rival band camps or something like
Right.
that. Where the Tawil was Firebird, and then they did retcon At to be existing in there as well, and At was in Windwolf.
Gotcha.
And then and then in Umr's case, it was Rockfish. That's the one that I was brainfarting on.
So fun. All right.
So it's interesting enough, like that. I have a theory that because they were in a rock school, right? Mm-hmm. They are music aligned, and then you see a lot of the Diva format. These are idol selectors that are also in the music field. Like maybe they are secretly the connecting tissue between Lost Storage and Selector Infected with Diva format.
I would kind of agree with that. Just because, like, for those of you that have watched the anime, there's this whole thing with Mayu, who is the creator of Wixoss and has like Mayu's white room with all of like the doors and stuff. And then in Low Storage, when she's not there anymore, there's like a bunch of like blank Loregs or just like residual energy that then forms into
like emotional
Loregs.
energy.
Yeah, like emotional energy. And then at the end, I guess it's kind of like they release that somehow. But, Maya's room is still there, as far as I remember. So then we have the diva format, and we've already seen instances with, characters like Bang that, like, manifested from Wixoss
Yeah,
land.
so Bang was a AI program that Uchu no Hajimari, which only had 2 members at the time, were using to try to measure something about Wixoss land. And that was the idea that apparently if you can conquer the Wixoss land scoreboard, something happens. There's a power behind the game, and your wishes come true, can grant your wishes,
Right.
which is eerily familiar to the first series and the second series, which your wishes could come true, but in a horrible way.
Right.
And so
Right.
when they were investigating pieces, and they wanted to because pieces apparently just manifest.
Yeah, that makes sense
From
to
your
me
team.
because I was always kind of like, well, how, like, it's not something you can like win. It's not like a card you can buy because they're specific to each team.
So to try to create a control, they created an AI program to basically play the game with them, and then have a piece manifest itself. And the piece manifested itself, but they were surprised because Bang became self-aware.
Right.
So my game theory is that Bang is an Elrig, all in the true sense of the word, where Bang is actually like literally what like Tama was and stuff, like an entity that is an Elrig.
Right. So going back to the introduction of the Ancient Surprise team as it fits in the Diva format.
And remember, they were the first things introduced alongside with
They
Sandbaka.
were. So going off of that, now we have the full name of this like creature from beyond the veil, which is Umr At Tawil. And give me 1 second to pull up my notes. But from what I remember, Umr At Tawil is not an actual like thing. Oh wait, yes it is. Okay, sorry. So Umr At Tawil is supposed to be the entity that stands beside the ultimate gate and meets anybody with the silver key. So they're kind of like the guardian of this like ultimate gate that they're supposed to be like protecting or like opening or keeping closed or something like that. It's it's very like Eldritch Horror in the fact that like there really is no specific thing.
Yeah.
But the other interesting thing about it being the Guardian is that we just said that Yogg is the actual gate. So if you were going off of that, then you might be able to derive that Umr At and Tawil are kind of almost like servants or like patrons of Yogg. So the next thing that I wanted to go into after that was we've already said that Yogg and Shubs were kind of the Ancient Surprise like signature like signies,
Right.
because every deck has those like signies that are like they're the secret rares that are like specific to that deck.
But Ott's got one now, right?
Ott has one now. So originally we had Yogg and Shubs, which now in this format are blue and red respectively. But with the introduction of Ott, now we have Azathoth. Yes. Azathoth. And I'll read you the description of that creature, which is pretty interesting. It's known as Azathoth, like the Dreamer, or Azathoth, the Idiot God. And I know that sounds really funny. So the mythos behind that is that it's supposed to be this gigantic ancient creature, probably one of the oldest, in fact, in the Cthulhu mythos. And that is because supposedly the entire universe was created and is maintained by Azathoth's dream.
There's planets in the background of the art of this one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's kind of like swirly, so, and she kind of looks sleepy. So Azathoth is called the Idiot God because if he were to wake up, then everything would kind of just disappear, more or less. So it's supposed to play on this like fear of like, what if none of this is real, which I know is like a little existential. I apologize. But that is Ott's secret rare Signy.
As a Thoth is my favorite art from their Signies.
Why is that?
I just think it's cool looking. It's like, it's very mystical looking with all the attendants that it has too.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of, actually, this kind of reminds me of what both Yogg and Shubs is like supposed to look like, with like the floating orbs and like kind of this like family surrounding her. So I do find that very interesting. There's also a lot of like tendrils in this one. So this, I feel like the art in this one is very close to like the source material.
Sure, yeah.
Really. So that's the interesting bit. Now, unfortunately, in the English versions, we don't get flavor text at the bottom of our cards.
No.
Which is very sad. However,
the wiki exists.
the wiki exists, and it does have flavor text on the bottom of the cards. So if you wouldn't mind handing me a tablet, please, Andrew?
Wait, you want the tablet of what card?
Oh, I'll take Umr first.
Oh, okay. Can I read them?
Yeah, you can read them. You want to participate?
You want this, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So guys, there's actually, if you go to the website of Takartomi for Wixoss, you can actually get the bios and birthdays of like, and ages and heights of all the Elrigs.
Some fun facts.
Yeah, in case you want to know, fun facts about your Elrigs or when to celebrate their birthdays, which I think is fun.
I do think that's fun too.
But so Umir's is they're all question mark in terms of their age, birthday, and height. Who knows who they are?
Who knows?
It is Elrig exists in the background story of Wixoss. In that world, she's responsible for closing stories and resolving the ones that have been opened. And then if we look at then also question mark for everything. This Elrig exists in the background of Wixoss. It is the door that allows itself that it's okay, hold on, sorry. It is the door itself that allows you to travel between dimensions, bridges events that were originally only in the world of cards. She's characterized by her slurred speech.
Yes. Very cute. She's like a little sleepy.
And then Tawil exists in the background of the story of Wixoss. She's the role of opening the door to the story, whether she wants to or not. It's so ominous the way they write this, whether she wants to or not. She spends most of her time with Umr and often speaks in a dumb way.
She's like ditzy. So cute. So going off of that, we're still continuing with this whole idea of like there being a key and a gate and a messenger and some sort of like prophet, and thinking back to the whole idea of like Mayu's room with all of like the doors. And in the second series, they talked a lot about somebody like opening the gate or like opening the door and like being let out or like getting in or like something wild like that. And then the last interesting tidbit for that team, just going off of everything that we know, is that in all of the level 3 grows for this team, they've got this like gigantic, like it's got a microphone at the end. It's wicked looking. It looks so cool. But at the end, it kind of looks like a key. So when they grow into level 3, they kind of have that key. So I love this team. I think that they're so fascinating. They have incredible outfits. Like, I mean, look at it. And they only get better the larger that they grow, right? So this is all to say, this is why I love Ancient Surprise. And you guys can feel free to check out the wiki. Any of the other cards that this team is featured on, all of those have like really crazy, creepy text as well.
Yeah, the flavor text of a lot of these are like even Polygenesis is like, you fall asleep to prepare for the coming. Like things like that.
Yeah, I know, it's so crazy.
It's so wicked.
Yeah.
And so my fan theory,
yeah, let's go
if
with
you
some
subscribe to it,
headcanons.
is that they're the connecting tissue between what were the last events that we saw, and that Wixoss Land is not a different universe. It's the same universe as the other ones.
I would have to agree with that, especially with the whole, like, and I mentioned this in a previous podcast. I mentioned this in our favorite cards podcast talking about polygenesis. I do think that they are like strictly like digital lyrics, whereas like a lot of the other lyrics are based off of like quote unquote like real characters, like they're people that are playing this game. I think Umr At and Tawil are like Bang, where there's sort of like this weird non-corporeal energy that is then manifested into these characters.
Yeah.
And this is also true if you go to Takara Tomy has an official YouTube channel that has like an Ott like VTuber.
Yeah, we should also mention that Ott is the current spokesperson for Wixoss.
She's the current, I guess, what would you call it? Like mascot?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's the
No, because
current.
the mascot is Lifeburst-chan.
Oh yeah,
Or
that's right.
Lifeburst-kun?
I don't remember, but
It's
the little
Mr. Lifeburst.
Mr. Lifeburst. A Wixoss podcast. So she has like a VTuber thing going on their channel, and a lot of times like the background is like a digital kind of background. So that's why I'm thinking like I don't think these are like a lyric that is like tied to a specific person. I think that they're like
I think they're L rigs in the true sense of the words. And
yeah.
I would even wager a guess. This is me guessing here, that the secrets behind the Wixoss world that they're trying to discover are Umr At
Tawil.
Yeah, Umr At Tawil.
Yeah, and some
that,
sort of like opening a gate to a masterpiece, which is what they keep talking about.
They might be utilizing this energy or something, but they might be like, what's the Sailor Scout that keeps like has the gate of time?
Are you talking about Pluto or Saturn?
I guess Saturn's the one that's scary and is protecting.
Yeah,
the gate of time.
she's got like the glaive that is like the ender of the world.
Oh no! I don't mean her. I mean the one that literally
has the key of time.
Yeah,
that's Pluto.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that they're probably the gate, and they're letting this energy manifest. Mm-hmm. Because again, I want to note that they were musicians before Diva happened, and then Diva happens, and now it's all about that kind of thing. So I think they might have had an influence on it.
I see what you're going with.
So
now.
I think that maybe they're almost like the new Mayu. They're channeling an energy.
Oh, that would be interesting. I don't think that I would hope that the anime kind of goes into that, but I think that they're really busy with the whole like Eternal Girl versus like all the other teams kind of arc.
I think like
or not like versus, but they're like
if it's gonna be something, maybe it's a season 3 plot line, right?
Like
like they're topping the Wixoss score for whatever reason, and then
all of a sudden
it starts getting weird.
Starts getting weird. I want it to get weird. I want some weird Wixoss. I'm down with it. So going off of that, because they're a band now, Andrew and I have a question for you guys.
We've been debating this for like months, and I think just recently, because of our Discord and we were talking to our locals, I think we just discovered the answer. But
yeah, but we also wanna see what you guys think. So if you look at the art of Umr At and Tawil from Ancient Surprise, they all have different instruments, right? So a Tawil is more percussion. She's got her tambourines or her drums. Like she always has her like drumsticks or whatever. So percussion. For Umr, she's like on piano. Like it's usually some sort of like synth or like a keytar.
Yeah, like
or
a
some
keytar.
Yeah, like something with piano keys, right? And then we've got Ott, who actually has like a brass instrument. It's either like a tuba or like a French horn or like a trombone,
trumpet, yeah,
something like that. So in my mind, I would like to believe that they are a jazz band.
Which, does make sense because jazz is the most discordant,
it can be
beautiful music that
it can be very chaotic, which would tie into the whole like eldritch kind of thing.
But me over here being 90s ska revival was like, there's no way that it's not a ska band.
Yeah, I was like,
they're too.
And then
they're
when
too
you pointed
punky.
that out, I was like, oh wait, are they a ska band?
They're too punky.
I mean,
You look at the art, and I'm like, they're too punky.
I mean,
they're not your typical like. They're not like if there were jazz, right?
Yeah.
Even Synco Force like looks like
Symforce.
Symforce, yeah. Synco Force, Symforce. which has jazzy elements in it, right? They look like they're going to a 1920s speakeasy club. And
Yes, you're right.
These girls don't. These girls look like, well, first
You
off, they
really
look like
think they look
D&D
like a
characters.
ska band? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Umr looks like she's about to go out and like play a Kiss concert in some of her art.
I guess so.
She gets black leather and then does like her under eyes.
What card? Give me
fine.
my binder. I'm going to look it up.
I'll pull it up for you.
No, give me the binder. I got to flip through this.
It's not diva art. Oh, it's future diva art.
Oh, okay.
So future stuff.
I was going off of just the cards that we have in the format, not what was in the webcomic.
Well, no, I'm talking about what's in the Japan format.
Oh, excuse me. I didn't actually look into the art in the Japan format. I was just strictly going off of the English stuff. So maybe you know something I don't.
I'll pull it up. But
all right.
But she hello train.
Yeah, we got a train in the background.
It looks like they're in a ska band to me, and the thing that really sells it to me.
Is there a checker pattern somewhere?
I have not found a checkered pattern yet. but pre-diva, there's some promo versions of them in that music camp.
Yeah.
And again, it's like rock school. Like they're clearly going to rock school.
Yeah, they all have like t-shirts and
what happens when you add a little brass into rock? It becomes ska.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to believe that they're a jazz band, but that's because
Oh, tell me this card is not like punk rock.
Oh no, that one definitely is. But you're gonna tell me that that's in a jazz band? Can you find the translation for
I agree.
this?
She's not
so we
in a
can
jazz
show
band.
it.
She's in a ska band.
Definitely some sort of but I don't know any like rock band
Umr,
that has
Umr
like brass.
Key to performing shout.
Key to performing shout. Yeah, no, she looks like she's, in like a hailstorm sort of like black leather rock singer. Super awesome.
Yeah, I think that's a ska band.
All right. Let us know in the comment section down below if you think they are a ska band or a jazz band or something else entirely. Like, it's completely up for debate.
Next question.
Okay.
What is at? Is at a cat?
What?
Is at a cat?
I don't think you can...
Or a fox?
Okay. Well, I think we have to start with the other characters first.
Okay, Towel's clearly an angel, but if you don't want to say an angel, a bird.
Sure, she can be a bird.
She's a firebird.
She's a phoenix.
Sure, I'll take Phoenix.
Yeah, sure. She's some sort of bird.
They're all mythical creatures, aren't they? I don't know what At is as a mythical creature, but Umr turns into a bunny and has horns.
Oh yeah, we kind of said she might be like a jackalope.
She's a jackalope, right?
Maybe. Yeah, we that's the other like mystery with Ancient Surprise. We can't figure out why they're getting like ears or something. I think Ott's a cat is what it is.
Okay.
Like At cat.
Is there a green cat that I should know about that's mythical? If you guys can figure out whatever mythic beast
They
Ott
might
is,
not be mythic beasts.
I want to headcanon it so badly.
I mean, but yeah, I do think that Umr's a rabbit. Like she gets like rabbit ears, but she also has horns because she's Umr.
Yeah, so she's a jackalope.
And then, what would that make Tawil?
A phoenix.
I guess so. Maybe, but then I guess.
And she's rainbow, right? Phoenix have rainbow feathers at times too.
I don't know.
That's a whole
that's
thing.
True.
That's a whole thing.
Is it?
Yeah, there's some rainbow elements in. Well, like look at Ho-Oh from Pokemon. It's
okay,
a phoenix
let's look
and
at
has,
Ho-Oh from Pokemon.
I'm just saying it's based off of a sort of thing too. Okay.
I can't with this.
I'm just saying. So she's not an angel, she's a phoenix, is what I'm trying to say.
All right, let's go with Phoenix.
They're amorphified. Whatever you say there. Maybe that's the
We're
way it
losing
goes.
our minds. The madness is setting in. Yeah, we can't figure out what Ott is. Like, I think she's a cat, but I don't know much other than that. And then like her in the next or in like the future set coming out, her like level 3 grow, her ears are huge and sharp. Like, she's giving me almost like VJ Wolf vibes. And I'm like, who are
that
you?
could be a fox, though. Like, Arctic foxes have big ears.
Yeah, but they're not like pointed to the part where they could like cut glass. You know? I'm very confused. Maybe she's like an Anubis or something. You know, there's like the dogs with like the super pointed
Could be.
ears.
Yeah, you're right. Could be.
I think she's a cat, personally. She strikes me more as like a cat, especially in her level 1s. She has more like cat-like ears, in my opinion. Let us know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Like I said, this is all up to speculation. Like, unless Takara Tomy like comments on this video and is like, yes, everything is correct, then just this is all alleged, if you will. So, yeah, that's just my thoughts. That's our theories. Let us know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I've been wanting to make this podcast for so long, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Andrew, did you have a good time?
I did learn a lot today.
Yeah.
About madness.
Yes.
And cute madness girls.
Cute madness
That
girls.
play ska.
All I'm waiting for is a Signy named Cthulhu. Please. Please and thank you. All right. And with that, we will see you guys next time in the next episode of the Life Burst Podcast. Please comment, like, and subscribe. And as always, may you always flip a life burst.
May you always lose your mind.